Let's begin, though, with Nvidia. Jensen Huang delivering the keynote last night at CES. A lot to unpack. This is what he had to say about the Blackwell GPU and where it fits into the company's AI picture.
You got this incredible graphics card here, Blackwell. We're going to shrink it and put it in there. Does that make any sense? Well, you can't do that without artificial intelligence.
Not just AI, Jim, but physical AI is all the talk.
You talked about the evolution. I've got to tell you, this physical.
Jim Cramer discussed Nvidia's leadership in AI and robotics, highlighting CEO Jensen Huang's focus on physical AI and the development of autonomous vehicles, humanoid robots, and factory automation. Cramer praised Nvidia's partnerships with companies like Toyota and Uber, positioning the company for major breakthroughs in robotics. He also noted that while Nvidia's stock has faced some short-term volatility, its innovations in AI and robotics are likely to continue driving growth. Cramer pointed out that despite Nvidia's strength, the broader semiconductor sector is vulnerable and investors might want to focus on software instead. Overall, Cramer remains optimistic about Nvidia's future, especially in the fields of AI and robotics, despite cyclical challenges in the semiconductor market.
The first thing I'm going to say is that there's just a huge amount of people saying Amazon's gunning for Nvidia. Well, they play good game of chess. No, they play checkers. After this, Amazon's a checkers play. Jensen's playing chess.
So what does that mean?
Well, because Amazon, the big reason why Amazon's supposed to be gunning for Nvidia, right? Microsoft's supposed to be gunning for. Good luck. He left that behind because he's doing physical. So what he's doing.
Well, just to stop you, what you're talking about is the development of their own chips. Is that what you're saying when they're gunning for them? But they use Nvidia chips as well. But they also use ARM-enabled architecture for things that help them in the data center.
These guys are using Micron for high bandwidth. No, I'm saying. Welcome back, first of all, because I'm one of those guys like the guests that come on, if you hit them, they say, well, first, I really enjoy
it. Guys. I like your time.
Okay, thank you.
Beautiful.
Great. Okay, that's not here nor there. All right, so here's what's going on. There have been a lot of scrum about who's doing maybe inference, and then Amazon's moving into training. NVIDIA's not talking about any of that. NVIDIA's talking about robots. They're talking about the way you build a factory. They're talking about physical. They're talking about Toyota going the way that Tesla's going. They basically just said, you and I are going to have robots. I don't know if I may get a robot, maybe not.
Well, he keeps talking about the ChatGPT moment, right, for robotics. Others have been talking about that a bit as well lately.
Yeah, but Jim. Yeah, but no, my point is that he's leaving everyone behind.
Okay.
And that's why its stock can go higher. Because if we're doing physical, what that means is that you are going to have a robot that is going to be doing exactly what we can do. A robot will be able to talk. It'll be able to be our buddy. It'll do things that we hadn't been able to think they could do. And this is what this is about. This is about productivity and robots. Now, yes, the PC that we showed, that's going to be for sale for a very good price. I think that's going to be very competitive, and maybe there's really going to be AI. But I was just blown away by the digital twin for manufacturing, the Toyota being like Tesla, the humanoids. Remember, he keeps using the humanoids. They even threw a bone in for Apple Vision Pro, which the downgrade says is a bust. Okay, fine.
I saw you mention that earlier.
But I just think that it was about not being the Jensen Huang that we've been hearing about, that he's this, even though he did have the incredibly cool leather jacket. Yes. I don't have that one. But I just think that this was dazzling in intellectual purposes, not showman purposes.
You mentioned the Toyota partnership. There's the Uber partnership, too. And he spent quite a bit of time talking about autonomous. Take a listen to this.
After so many years with Waymo's success and Tesla's success, it is very, very clear autonomous vehicles has finally arrived. Well, our offering to this industry is the three computers: the training systems to train the AIs, the simulation systems, and the synthetic data generation systems. We're working with just about every major car company around the world: Waymo and Zoox and Tesla, of course, in their data center, BYD, the largest EV company in the world. 100 million cars built each year, a billion vehicles on the road all over the world, 1 trillion miles that are driven around the world each year. That's all going to be either highly autonomous or, fully autonomous coming up. And so this is going to be a very large industry. I predict that this will likely be the first multi-trillion-dollar robotics industry.
Okay, so who's been a huge customer? Tesla in the data center. Notice he said the data center, he didn't say the car, because they're not making the ones for the car. But if Toyota does that, Toyota has the balance sheet to do it. You know, they're gonna have to buy they may have to buy 500,000 chips to get this done. So you're looking at orders from now till kingdom come. Now, over and over and over again, he says, we're ready to ship. We're Blackwell's ready to ship. We're Blackwell shipping volume. So therefore, you want to put the numbers up right now. I thought there would be people who say, you know what, I've already heard this. Remember, that's a new thing. When we have it, I go over with
we
NVIDIA
knew this, quote
to
unquote.
say, well, okay, which is the new? Which is the new? David, there's a lot that was new. It just wasn't Jensen just going, wow. There's no wow. And by the way, you know what it started with?
Tell me.
A bartender making a drink, mixing a drink.
Well, you've talked about that a number of times when you were there for that, right?
Well, no, I'm just saying that I was spot on that. Like Jensen might have listened to the show.
As we start this year, there are a lot of. It could be an amazing year for advancement in various areas of technology, whether it is robotics, as he said in this ChatGPT moment, where suddenly all the things you've talked about start to come to fruition that we all have talked about. There will still be significant advances made in AI itself. I mean, Sam Altman quoted in a recent interview saying, well, one of the, in the next 4 years during the Trump administration, we're likely to get to AGI. He said that.
Yes.
Interesting to see him sort of discuss the next 4 years and artificial general intelligence being reached, which is the reason that they even created OpenAI, of course, way back when. And autonomous vehicles as well, and the advances that are going to be made this year. There's a lot that we're going to be, as we have been for years, but it may now start to happen. The question is, what's it going to mean for the enterprise?
Right.
What will it mean for companies in terms of use of robotics? What will it mean for AI in terms of intelligence being used in the enterprise to help efficiency and productivity?
I'm going to Verrazano bridge you.
Okay.
The reason why you do the Getty Shutterstock, this thing can read video. It's just a killer. I mean, this is the type of thing that I would never allow. Say, if there's like a guest on earlier. This is like these two should be competing against each other. Instead, this is the video. See, they can. Let's say you wanted. This is the picture. I've often mentioned that. If you want to know how to strike out every single player on the other side, you just, the robot can do that because it ingests video. It's a big thing. So you want pictures. Getty was mentioned to me by Jensen. I owe him a SPAC. But David, the deals that are happening.
We got 4 at least on our docket today to talk about.
Yeah. All right, let's turn to Nvidia. The shares are a bit lower right now. It did hit an all-time high yesterday. CEO Jensen Huang speaking last night about the massive opportunity in robotics. Take a listen.
The ChatGPT moment for general robotics is just around the corner. And in fact, all of the enabling technologies that I've been talking about is going to make it possible for us in the next several years to see very rapid breakthroughs, surprising breakthroughs.
The tech's getting just destroyed today. NASDAQ's down 440. As I asked you that question, saw 2.25%. Many of the biggest names, obviously we led the show with Nvidia hitting this record high, crossing Apple for the largest market cap company in the world. Now I look at the lows of the day down more than 6%. Where's this trade going from here, according to the charts?
Well, I'll tell you, Nvidia is really the standout for semis, right? When we look at semis, and we've been more cautious on semis for at least a quarter now. Nvidia kind of being the exception to that rule. That's still an uptrend. I think there's a ton of support down around 125, so that's good news. But when we look at semiconductors, holistically, from everything from Qualcomm to Intel to Nvidia, the group's not that strong, and so I think there is a cyclical component to it. They're as overvalued as they were in our work back in 2000. Then Nvidia barely existed. It was more the Qualcomms and the Intels of the world. So just as a reminder to viewers that technology is cyclical. There are new winners and new losers in every cycle. But I do think that of what we're seeing in technology, I do think semiconductors are one of the more vulnerable spaces. We're focusing our efforts and suggesting to our clients to remain in software and to look at adding to exposure there. They look better.
At CES, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang highlighted the company's advancements in AI, robotics, and autonomous vehicles, focusing on physical AI and partnerships with companies like Toyota and Uber. Despite challenges in the semiconductor sector, Huang expressed confidence that Nvidia's innovations would drive growth, particularly in AI and robotics. Nvidia's stock recently hit an all-time high but faced some volatility. Jim Cramer noted that while Nvidia is a leader in AI and robotics, the semiconductor industry remains cyclical. He suggested investors focus on software stocks, which are expected to perform better in the current market. How will Nvidia's physical AI impact robotics and autonomous vehicles? Do you agree with focusing on software stocks over semiconductors in today's market?